remuneration auction is set to off.
Hello, everybody. It's the coach. This is Madden 20 on EA Sports.
Okay, Coach, coming to you from the venue that hosted the Super Bowl back in February of '06. Welcome to Ford Field in downtown Detroit. Today, we've got a matchup here in pivotal Week 7 between the Green Bay Packers and the Detroit Lions. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here are the Lions now coming out for their opening drive. And they will be led out by their 6'6" quarterback.
And this could be a whole lot of fun because if his game plan goes into effect early, we're going to see some shots downfield, aren't we? What did he talk to us about? Stretching the field. Wants to open things up for not just his receivers, but for anything underneath.
Well, that was the theme, the front page of the sports section, where the columnist write possible air raid. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the coaches view.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. A bad start there. A big loss on their first play from scrimmage. It's second down.
Well, we knew coming in it was going to be a long afternoon if they weren't able to hold up against this pass rush, huh?
What we didn't know was that protection was going to spring a leak on the first play from scrimmage.
Got after him right out of the gate.
Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. Second and long. Now the pressure comes and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9.
Now, I know we're only 2 plays in, but after giving up back-to-back sacks, something has to change with the protection, and they can't wait to halftime to make an adjustment.
Throwing on 3rd and long. Herbert, that one is caught by Hunt. They get 13, but it's not nearly enough, and it'll be 4th down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
So here comes the Packers offense now onto the field. And a look here now at their 4th-year quarterback.
And what's a quarterback's best friend?
Balance?
I think you're right. I agree with you. You know, a lot of guys would say great receiver, right? A terrific offensive line. I agree with you, balance, because if you can run the ball effectively, that just opens things up for guys who want to throw it and gives you easier passing lanes and easier coverages to read.
And they said balance will be a focus in this one.
Yeah, they don't want it all just heaped on his shoulders, I don't believe. I think they want to make sure they take some of the pressure off.
And he's going to get this one down near the 45-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. And this O-line, it is the lifeblood of the offense.
They establish the tone. Mean, nasty, physical. They can't wait to get after people. That allows the rest of the offense to feel confident.
From the 45 on 2nd down. Young throwing right, and that's complete. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. 23 yards the pickup there.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
On first and 10, Young. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be second down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
They throw again on second down. This one's complete. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. The reception good for 7. It's third down. A second down completion got him 7. Now here's 3rd and 3. Again, it's Young, and it's complete. He gets this one to Washington. And he's able to pick up the first down before he's tackled right at the 10. The gain of 5 that time gives him the conversion and makes it 1st and goal. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, Packers. A great play there. His 3rd touchdown now on the year, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. An ideal start for them, really. You force the punt, and then you go down and score. And you've got to see a fist pump on the sideline from the head coach, don't you? Because he's turned into his bench, and he's telling his team, this is how we prepare. Force the punt, go downfield and score. I told you guys, it's just like a boxer in the gym preparing for the fight. Now we get to turn it all loose. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And Detroit getting set to go now. And they'll certainly be trying to do better than that first drive where they went 3 and out. And sometimes the first drive is just simply to settle nerves. You know what it's like at the start of a game with the emotion. Guys a little bit jumpy. But you do.
Oh, you understand the same way. It's just like us calling one, right? Making sure we ease into the game, let it come to us.
Well, you went 3
and now
and
have
out.
that opportunity.
No, you didn't go 3 and out. I went 3 and out on that first time. I'll try to do better here. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. 36 yards on the play. Even from up here in the booth, the play-by-play guy could tell that there was some pretty good blocking on the right side of the line.
Well, you have good eyes, and it's almost like a ballet when it's executed that well. Everyone in the right spot, everyone in sync, everyone hitting the perfect notes. A little more percussion and a lot more bass, I would think, than you get your normal ballet. But at the same time, that was well executed.
Here's a run on first down that doesn't accomplish anything. In fact, he's going to be tackled behind the line for a loss of 1. A tale of 2 extremes. First carry, he went for a bundle. His second goes backward. And how many times have we seen that happen? Because you get that big carry, and you come back and you're all fired up, and sometimes you force a run a little bit, right? Trying to break off that big carry again, and instead, it works opposite. Now this one to his running back out of the backfield. It's a gain of 7, and that's going to bring up a 3rd down. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield? It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up? What can he do? What kind of damage can he do to us downfield? And who can match up with him without weakening our overall defense? You're exactly right. It's a tough task to match up to him. And boy, he is very close to a first down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short. Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game, but it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. 3rd down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go up and make the tackle right away. Now Harrison Butker for the field goal try. From the right hash, it's a 46-yard attempt. And this will split the uprights. It's right down the middle. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So a good snap, good hold, and right down the middle. Never in doubt. Just the way you used to hit them, partner. You mean like kicking the ball? Exactly. Well, that was in high school. Doesn't matter. I don't care what level. You hit them, they go through. The Green Bay offense now about ready to take possession here. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Now a first down throw for Young. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. That one goes for 24 yards.
Watch tight end. Hey. 4 down. You go tight. You got tight right there. Come on now.
After one, 7-3 the score on EA Sports. They go play action here on first down. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on first down, but he couldn't reel it in.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? It creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
The throw over the middle, taken in. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes when they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air. And sometimes you throw it so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Young to throw it. Going for it all. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a third down. They got to get it to the 21 here on third down. Young. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on third down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a fourth down decision.
And this one is right down the middle. And they push the lead up to a touchdown now at 10-3. So that's a 7-play drive that ultimately stalls out there at the end.
Yeah, things were a little leaky in the beginning on that drive, weren't they? But how about the front seven? As they got closer to the goal line, things stiffened a little bit, forced the field goal.
That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. Just a lone field goal for them so far, trailing 10-3 as they come up 1st and 10. And they'll start the drive on the ground with Johnson. And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits, and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
And now they're going to get him down right at the line of scrimmage.
Can't you stop?
It's third down and 4.
Let's get it.
On third and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. Looks to throw, fires right side. And that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's fourth down. Problems on third down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on third down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get to third down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on first and second down.
Here comes the Lions punter now, as he'll punt it away for the second time. Good open field tackling there. A 50-yard punt followed by just a 1-yard return. And it'll be Packer football here. First down and 10. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
And he'll be taken down here at about the 23-yard line. A short gain of just over 2 yards as the first half clock dips inside of 3 minutes.
50 seconds to Mike. 50 seconds.
Now Young. And he's got his target. That's more. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. Give him 10 there. Good enough for a Packer first down. So they'll come up first and 10 now from the 33. Young will set to throw. Got an open man. It's Washington. Our score 10-3 with 2 minutes remaining in quarter number 2. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. To throw again on second down. Young, quick hitter here, it's complete. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Young on third down. He's got a first down and then some at midfield. And he takes it across the 50 to the 46-yard line. Give him 18 on that play, and Green Bay has the first as well. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on third down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a first down.
The Packers going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a tick under a minute to go before half. 2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit them, but now they got to get ready. It's first and goal. It'll be Young again. The quick slant caught. And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, Packers. A 7-yard touchdown grab. And the Packers are able to stretch that lead out further. He was on point throwing the ball right there. He had the big play to get him down close, and then he delivers a touchdown pass on first and goal.
And you mentioned the big play that got him down close. I think that big play left him reeling a little bit. They didn't recover from it. And you know they always talk about having to have a short memory on defense after a big play against you. Looks like their memory was a little too long there.
Extra point splits the uprights, and the lead is now 17-3. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So out now come the Lions. And you're under a minute to go in the half, a first half that hasn't been particularly kind to you. How do you think they'll play this?
Well, I think the smart approach is to run out the clock, lick your wounds.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. Back to throw. Herbert in trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line. Now the Packers going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1. After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. Now the Packers going to burn their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. That's taken it around the 40. 49-yard punt, 5 on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Here comes the field general leading his offense back out there for the next possession. He's played a pretty clean first half, a touchdown, no interceptions.
Frankly, that's what they expect out of him. They want to see the ball thrown and thrown well, and he's able to do that and put it in the end zone. They'd love to see more of that before this game finishes. But right now, he's got his team in a good spot.
A good spot, maybe looking for touchdown pass number 2 here in the second quarter. It's a gain of 16 and a first down for the green and gold. So in the second quarter, he's already up over 100 yards receiving now.
And isn't 100 the magic number for a really good game for a receiver? So he got a chance to really shatter that and have a profound effect.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Duke Dawson picks it, and he will bring it out past the 20-yard line.
Well, the timing is everything on a route like this. He tried to drive that football into a tight spot. And if you're a little early or a little late, chances are there's going to be someone there. And sure enough, this one's going the other way.
Going left side, it's complete. The Lions now going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 14 seconds to go in this first half. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. From the gun, Herbert. That'll be incomplete with 9 seconds now showing on the clock. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. To throw again, Herbert. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Jair Alexander. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. Time for a final kneel down or a safe run, and then they can head to the locker room with a lead.
Yeah, or they can even run a screen. You know, something they feel is somewhat safe that might actually pop and turn into a big play. That's what you usually run in this situation.
Or go 4 verticals because why not?
Because you're feeling it, right?
And he's going to go down. Couldn't get a throw off with the pressure. Maybe that was for the best, as that brings us to the end of this first half of play. The second half upon us sooner than we bargained for. Week 7, second half. Let's do it. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And the decision to bring it out, a good one, as he's up a yard or 2 shy of the 30. So here are the Packers now to take over. Last week they defeated the Broncos, and they've got the lead here as well as they work with a 1st and 10. Young looks to throw on first down. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. And that's caught inside the 35. Touchdown, Packers. A big play there. His third touchdown now on the year. And the Packers are able to stretch that lead out further. Still plenty of time left in the game, but now starting to pull away a little bit. Get some breathing room with that one.
And I don't want people to think that NFL locker rooms are cookie cutter, that everyone's saying the exact same thing in every situation. But I do know that all 32 teams have an emphasis on starting fast. Game, second half, no matter what. Whether it's first 5 minutes, first 3, whatever. This was a big score to start the second half.
Extra point right down the middle. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. And we can break that scoring drive down pretty easily. One play, long touchdown pass into the end zone. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So we get a look at the Lions offense as they get ready for their first possession of the second half. And their halftime hole now even deeper, and they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half.
And that didn't fool anybody. He's going to be dropped in the backfield. Call that a loss of 5 yards on the play. And it'll be a second and long.
Well, if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage. No. Yardage to be found.
Set up, 18 Gator. Watch tight, tight ends right. Watch me dribble.
To throw on second down. Herbert nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the Packers pick it up. And he will bring this one back. A fumble return for a Green Bay touchdown. So the big fella gets on the scoreboard with a return for a touchdown. Good thing he didn't have to go too far, though.
You know the trainers were very happy about that. Imagine having to go get him in the end zone, escort him to the bench, and give him the oxygen. They were loving the fact that he got in without having to run very far.
Now the extra point try forthcoming. And that'll increase their lead to 28.
Makes the score Packers 31, Lions 3.
So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And Detroit getting set to go now. And that last possession, really a gut punch. You seemingly had it working. You were in the midst of a very strong drive. Then suddenly the fumble, and you're watching the back of a defender's jersey as he brings it all the way in the other direction.
There's not much more I can add to that. I thought you summarized it perfectly, partner. You've just got to regroup and start putting another drive together. That's all you can do.
Number 5.
A first carry now for Kareem Hunt. And his first carry, he loses the football.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. And this is one of those bang-bang plays, Charles. Did the knee hit first or did the ball come out first?
This is where you need that 20/20 eyesight, don't you, Brandon? You've got to see which one happened first. If the knee hit the ground, then they will keep possession.
After review of the play,
the head coach relied on his eagle eye in the sky to make the right call and was told to challenge it, and it looks like it's paid off.
And from a coach's standpoint, when you throw that flag, it's probably a pretty tense moment. Here it pays off.
Yeah, you have that little bit of indecision. You throw it where you feel like you're right, and then you think, uh-oh, did I get it right? In this case, they can celebrate.
The Packers bringing in an extra member of the secondary here to try for the third down stop. Operating from the gun. Herbert nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
It's been a tough one all game long for this offensive line. They're already down big, and now you know they're just going to come after the quarterback in a big way, don't you?
Yeah, they just can't get out of their own way right now. It's created an avalanche, and an avalanche is coming right on top of them. Pulled in at the 24. Very good return that time. 18 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. And last time the formula was pretty simple. One play drive, long pass. That maybe they just want to do that again, right?
And that's exactly how you want to draw things up. Whether it's on your grease board, right, in your playbook, one play drive's exactly what you want on offense. What they have to be careful of is not having a letdown. It was really easy last time. They can't expect that going forward.
Yeah, we'll see if it's that easy here. And this is caught. I think he got that with one hand. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. A very solid gain of 27.
What a catch, and one-handed, and I'm starting to lose my awe about the play, and maybe I shouldn't. How much of this is the player? How much of it is the glove?
Well, those gloves, they do have a little grip to them,
they
don't
get
they?
A little extra tackiness to them now, and I know the guys in the NFL, the competition committee, some other places, they're talking about examining those gloves to see if they're having too much of an effect on the game.
Young on first down. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. And that is incomplete. Showed off the arm strength there, but to no avail. Second down.
I know you felt like saying touchdown there, didn't you, partner? That looked like a sure 6 points, but the contact jarred it free.
Got his hands on it, could not hold on through the end of the play.
Echo. 57's right. Let's go. Let's get this ball back for the offense. Let's go.
On second down, Young again. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And it's going to be another first down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions 16. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. He can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
Now a second down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete. So back-to-back incompletions. Third down here in 10, but you're still in field goal range.
And that's the thing to keep in mind. They're in field goal range. So now you don't take any unnecessary risks, but you try and find a way to get back to what you were doing earlier in the drive in order to finish this one off.
To throw is Young on third down. And that will be incomplete.
This defense could use some more of these types of plays. How about him reading it, driving on the football, and he's right there for the pass breakup.
Don't get nervous. 51's the mic. 51's the mic. Let's put him on the chest. Let's put that team on the bus.
Now Young on fourth down. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off down near the 5. Past the 10 to the 11-yard line. And that's where the return stops. They'll try to get the offense going with Johnson. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
Now a deep ball there on second down, but it'll wind up incomplete. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on third down. Looking to throw. Herbert. And he goes down. It's a sack. They get him back at his own 3-yard line. Offensively, they're going to have to figure this out before next week. 7 sacks in one game.
Yeah, and that's more than any quarterback should have to bear. And if this continues on, there will be another quarterback in the game because no one can stand up to this week after week.
Personal foul, roughing the kicker, defense.
They knew they were going to have great field position, went all out, got a little too aggressive.
And you have to understand your angles. They're cut down. When they're that backed up, you've got to be careful going after him.
So a big break. The roughing the kicker called on fourth down leads to 1st and 10. Back to throw. Herbert. Rush coming, and he's taken down.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
2nd and 15. And he's going to go down again.
Okay, let's go back a little bit and see if my schooling comes to the front. What's that old saying? Those who forget the lessons of history are doomed to repeat them. That's the same guy who's gotten back-to-back sacks. I think a double team may be in order.
Throwing on 3rd and long. Herbert.
As I was watching the play unfold, my eyes immediately went to the referee because I wanted to see, was he going to put those 2 hands over his head and that universal signal for a safety? But it's at the 1-yard line. You know you're playing with fire when you get sacked that close to the goal line.
Here comes the Lions punter now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. And he's able to get it out of there, and this is a pretty good kick. Returnable here from the 38. A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And the Packers will have a short field to work with here as they take over 1st and 10. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. He's going to take a shot right away. And he's got it. It's caught for a Packers touchdown. A big play there with his 2nd touchdown of the game and 5th on the year as his guys continue to put this one out of reach.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his 2nd touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go. No going for 2. They'll kick the point after. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline.
Blitz coming, and down he goes.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
Now a shot taken on third down, but it's going to wind up incomplete. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
A big kick there. We'll call it 56 yards on the punt. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
On 2nd and 9, Young, nowhere to escape, and he goes down. That's Yannick Ngakoue with a sack.
Now, we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop him.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult. You're asking a whole lot anyway, but when he gets that kind of a start and comes through clean, oftentimes the advantage definitely goes to the defensive player.
They take a shot downfield there, but it winds up falling incomplete.
Finally, a good play there defensively on the deep ball. The secondary has had its struggles this entire game. Offensively, they've had their way with them.
He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. Give him 11 yards that time on the return, and the Lions will take over. So here come the Lions now. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Devin Bush came in there hard on the blitz and got him down 9 yards behind the line of scrimmage. And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. On the delay, here's Hunt. Absolutely nobody fooled there. He's going nowhere fast as he stopped behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long. Throwing on 3rd and long. Herbert. And this is going to be incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
It'll be a 51-yard punt that time.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
The Green Bay offense now about ready to take possession here. We've got a lopsided game here. I don't know, Charles, what does the handbook say that we discuss when we've got a game like this in the fourth quarter?
Hold on a second. Let me thumb to the proper page on that. You know what it says?
What?
Let's discuss how we got here. This is a dominant performance, where they took control of this game, how they've managed to keep control of this game, and then we go ahead and think about how we're going to leave here and get to the airport. In a lopsided blowout, the roads are usually open.
They'll keep it on the ground. Felton, and he'll get it down to the 47 here. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
Well, that was a unit that understood exactly where the first down marker was, handed it to their guy who could run it, created some space, and he got there.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Packer football here as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Now Young. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. Second and right at a yard.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. Give him 15 there, and the Packers have a first. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. And they get to him quickly here as he stopped right around the 13. Now the Packers going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts. That'll leave them with just one remaining in this fourth quarter of play. Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run.
I got you, son. Check 26, check 26. Right stone. Come on. Same on. He's checking, he's checking.
They'll try the left side. Felton. And down inside the 10 here before he's out of bounds right around the 7. Give him 6 yards on the carry. It's going to be 3rd and 3 now. 7th play of the drive now as they come up on a 3rd and 3.
Watch the run, watch the run. SOS, SOS, SOS. SOS, SOS, SOS.
Young now. And this will be caught. And the carnage continues. It's another touchdown. So another score there. Often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
Well, they are looking strong here in the fourth quarter. Point after, right down the middle. And that will extend this big lead. So that drive goes 8 plays. And it ends with a Packers touchdown. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This fielded at the 2. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. And Detroit getting set to go now. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in a game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
A battle for it, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Jair Alexander. And his guys are going to take over at the 21-yard line. And that one, Charles, is just going to about wrap up what was no doubt a dominating defensive performance.
Yeah, I don't care what team it is. I don't care who you play, whether they're strong offensively or not. Just giving up 3 points in the NFL, that's absolutely a dominant performance and one that they can build on.
throwing the interception. Young. And his throw here is incomplete. They're still throwing the football here. Now, obviously, the incompletion stops the clock. That's a bad thing.
Feels to me like they're just keeping them honest on defense because you know they're going to stack the line of scrimmage and try and stop any type of a running play. Short little passes may work in exchange of running plays. Keep the clock moving, keep them moving.
Yeah, I guess you're right. If they can get some first downs, just as good as running the football.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for Green Bay, they climb back to 500 now at 3 up and 3 down. And they'll get another road date next week as their opponents will be the Minnesota Vikings. Meanwhile, for Detroit, the losses are piling